But first, we're going to dive into the world of feeding young children. It's overwhelming because understanding the timing of when and what to feed your baby is really tough. So luckily today we are joined by Dr. Krupa Playforth, who is a board-certified pediatrician and also co-author of the new book, Baby Leads the Way. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This is all about when to start feeding your child, your new book is,
yes.
And how. What is the first question people ask you when they're getting ready to feed their child solid foods?
The most common question I get is, when is the right time?
Yeah.
And that's just because there's so much misinformation out there, and it's confusing and overwhelming, and doctor visits are usually pretty short, so nobody really gets the information they really want. So the right time to start feeding your baby is when they are meeting certain milestones, and usually around 6 months of age. So they need to be able to sit upright, they need to have some head control, they need to be able to bring things to their mouth. It's simpler than people think.
Yeah. Do we overcomplicate it?
We overcomplicate everything with
Really?
parenting.
Yeah. But it's scary because you think about, what if my child chokes? Do I know how to respond? Am I cutting these berries small enough? Is it too early? Are they allergic to this?
It's so much. It is so much to think about. So the book was a team effort from the 101 Before One team. It's published by the American Academy of Pediatrics, and we answer all the questions, but like in a practical and yet evidence-based way.
Yeah. So you start with purees, I assume. Is that how you recommend people start feeding their children solids?
The puree versus finger food debate is also where people tend to get caught up.
Really? Oh, wow.
And the truth is, I don't know that we have great data that one way is superior to the other way. The book is about baby leading the way, and you can do that even with purees if you focus on responsive feeding, watching your baby's cues, and kind of adjusting and being flexible based on what they need.
Yeah.
So that's what I tell my patients.
More of what they're interested in. Someone was talking about like the spoon and you like putting it in your child's mouth because we are worried about choking. Does that create more of an environment where they might gag or choke on something?
So there's a few different things going on there.
Okay.
Break it down. Let's break it down. Putting something in your child's mouth is the way that we traditionally have done things.
Right.
And the book talks about how ideally you want the baby to be self-feeding, and there's ways to do that even with purees by preloading a spoon and handing it to them. There's a little bit of skill and practice that's involved. But the question about choking, it is not the case that babies who are fed with finger foods directly choke more often than babies who are fed with purees. Young babies are at high risk for choking overall compared to older babies, so you do need to know how to prep food safely. But if you are doing it safely, you don't necessarily have to worry about that. With that said, I do recommend that every parent get CPR training regardless of how they're choosing to feed their baby.
Right. And I've seen you on your Instagram before, you've posted about like, here are some things that really worry me. It's like the grapes that aren't cut up. Is there any other foods that are red flags for you, especially when they're getting used to eating?
When they're getting used to eating, gagging is often part of the process, which
scary.
is so scary.
It's so scary.
It is so scary.
Yeah.
And knowing the difference between gagging and choking is one of the things we talk about in the book and I talk about with my patients. But the high-risk choking foods are going to be the ones that are really round, that are exactly the size of your baby's airway. So carrots, hot dogs that are cut into rounds, your grapes, cherry tomatoes, really anything that's kind of hard and round and slippery like that can be a choking hazard.
Blueberries. Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a certain age when they can start eating that stuff? Is it over 4?
For the choking hazards, age 4 or 5, although it also depends on the child. And, you know, I know that for my 4-year-old, he tends to want to run around and eat.
Yes.
So I don't like to, I don't like to give him anything that he might trip and then aspirate on.
Right.
But in terms of preparing the food for babies, it's a little counterintuitive. We think, oh, if we do a smaller piece, that's going to be safer for the baby. And actually, between 6 and 9 months, we recommend bigger pieces that are stick-shaped and kind of have a little bit of squish to them, because that's easier for them to pick up with that palmar grasp. And then also just their oromotor skills, their mouth skills, are more kind of vertical, up and down. They're munching, and so it's easier for them.
Wow. Okay, I have 800 more questions. Okay, I'm gonna ask you off camera because Baby Leads the Way is available now. It's everywhere books are sold. You gotta get your copy so you can get your questions answered too.